Hello everyone, my name is Dennis and you're on the Den Electro channel. Today I'll be reviewing two switching power supplies. I'm actually a fan of making these kinds of things myself, but making something so small takes a lot of effort. The first supply outputs 12 volts and the second 5 volts. We'll now examine and test them. Both supply units are very compact. Each is less than half the size of a matchbox. This makes them suitable for installation in small enclosures. For example, you could use them to power decorative LED strips and simply hide the supply behind a wardrobe. First, let's look at the 12-volt 400 milliamp version. A high-voltage smoothing capacitor is located at the input, installed after the diode bridge. Its capacitance is 4.7 microfarads, and the voltage is 400 volts. The MB6S diode bridge is located under the capacitor. The next capacitor powers the microcircuit, rated at 22 microfarads and 50 volts. Next comes the step-down transformer. By the way, it's quite decent for a 5-watt power supply. If it's assembled correctly and the wire gauge isn't skimped on, it should work well. Next comes the capacitor that smooths out ripple on the low voltage side. Its capacitance is 470 microfarads, and the voltage is 25 volts. The current from the secondary winding is rectified by an State Route 2100 Schottky diode. It's rated for 2 amps and 100 volts, so its characteristics should be more than adequate. A non-polarized 2.2 nanofarad capacitor is installed next to it. It's installed on the high voltage side and protects the chip from self-inductance surges. Also on the low voltage side is an LED indicating power supply operation. Further down is a TL431 controlled Zener diode. It regulates the output voltage. On the underside is a THX208 control chip, 2 pulse diodes, and below that, a 356 optocoupler. Well, this empty space was used for some kind of linear regulator, say 3.3 volts. Most likely, this is a leftover from a different version of the power supply. The label also indicates that other power supplies are also available on this board. It states that the power supply is either 5 volts 700 milliamps or 12 volts 400 milliamps, like mine. Manufacturers only change a couple of components, vary the number of turns in the windings, and may install a regulator so practically the same power supply will produce different voltages. Naturally, this significantly speeds up production and affects the price. To check whether the power supplies meet the specified specifications, I put together a small circuit. This multimeter will show the current flowing into the load, and this one will show the voltage at the power supply output. After power is applied, the voltmeter shows 12.17 volts at the output, and the red LED on the board lights up. Behind the scenes, I've connected an electronic load and will now increase its power. The current is now 0 amperes. Now it's 140 milliamps. 320 milliamps. Here I loaded it more than necessary, and at 450 milliamps, the voltage dropped significantly. But if I reduce the load slightly, the voltage immediately recovers and rises to 12 volts. As you can see, the power supply meets the stated specifications. This power supply also has short circuit protection. I shorted its outputs with an ammeter, and as you can see, the voltage immediately dropped and the current is 240 milliamps. When the short circuit clears, the power supply returns to normal operation. Although this power supply is low, it is quite capable of powering 3 small fans. It can also be used to make battery chargers, power LED strips, or as a standby power supply for other devices. The second power supply is 5 volts and 700 milliamps. At the input, there's also a 4.7 microfarad 400 volt smoothing capacitor, and underneath it is an MB10F diode bridge. Next is a step-down transformer, slightly smaller than in the previous power supply. Next to it is another 390 microfarad 7.5 volt electrolytic capacitor. It smooths out ripple on the low voltage side. A 3 amp 60 volt Schottky diode rectifies the secondary winding current, and there's also a signal LED nearby. By the way, note that the transformer is installed crookedly and unevenly, but fortunately this doesn't affect its operation. Of course, it might be installed correctly in other samples, but this is the one I got. There's a PWM chip installed under the transformer, but for obvious reasons, I couldn't read its markings. The back of the board on this unit is blank. There's nothing interesting here. This unit is also connected to the power supply, so let's see what it outputs. At idle, the output is 5 volts, as expected. As the load increases, the voltage begins to drop. Then, as the load increases, the voltage recovers. This power supply also meets its specifications. It holds 740 milliamps at 5 volts normally. However, if I increase the load even more, the voltage immediately drops below the specified 5 volts. Like the previous power supply, this one is also short-circuit resistant. After the fault, everything returns to normal. Overall, I'm quite satisfied with these power supplies. The price, quality, and specifications are all in line. The only thing I didn't like was the output filter. The output is missing another capacitor and a smoothing choke. Of course, almost all cell phone chargers are designed this way, but without them, there may be some significant ripple at the output, which could affect the operation of the electronic devices they power. I'll leave a link to a store where you can buy these power supplies in the description. There are more than just the ones I've shown, so if anyone's interested, go ahead and watch. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and bye everyone.